Good evening, everyone. I think we can now start the webinar. People can keep joining as they come. I am Jyoti Prakash, co-founder and head operations for Resolve Renewable Energy Solutions. And I welcome you all to the webinar on cost reduction strategies for industries through solar energy. Today we are in Unlock 1.0, and as business and industries are resuming their operations, we are in, the kind of updates that we are getting every day. As per the latest index of industrial production, that is the industrial production, that is the IIP, the production in April is expected to be contracted by 50 to 60%. Then there was the news regarding Vedanta, the world's leading natural resource company. They are facing a loss of approximately rupees 12,500 crore in the Q4. Also, BP is planning to cut down jobs by 10,000. 10,000 of their jobs, they are planning to lay off so many employees. India's popular cycle brand, Atlas, it is closed now. The national employment level is at an all-time low of 23.5% as per the Center of Monitoring Indian Economy, that is CMIE. Well, not a very encouraging situation, right? Because of all these things, we just had an idea that maybe we should conduct a webinar wherein we can interact with the industries and try and understand the various challenges that they're facing, and how as a solar solution provider company, we can in some way help them in their growth, assist them in facing these challenges. So hence today's webinar, and let me begin with introducing the panelists for today's webinar. We have with us Mr. Raghunandan Jagdish, who is the Managing Director and CEO of Nandan GSE Private Limited at Navi Mumbai. He is Masters in Mechanical Engineering in Texas A&M USA University. And since 2003, he's in India, and taking forward the business started by his father, Mr. Jagdish Chandra Kumar, in 1991. Mr. Raghunandan's core skills are in strategizing, planning, out-of-the-box solution for customer, as well as networking and relationship building. He has certification from Stanford University Scaling Up Institute in USA, as well as he has multiple coaches and trainers, which is there over 5 years. He's a strong believer. He's strong believer in the theory of constraint as well as the law of cause and effect. We also have today with us Mr. Om Prakash. Mr. Om Prakash is an engineer from NIT Surathkal. He did his MBA from S.J. Mehta School of Management, IIT Bombay. And he has a rich experience of over 25 years, started his career with L&T in Powai as a graduate trainee, where he was working in various greenfield projects like the nuclear power division. He has also worked with Accenture, NRB Bearings, and Premium Transmission, and he's currently associated with NRB Industrial Bearing, which is a leading manufacturer of ball and roller bearing for industries. Also, we have with us today Mr. Amit Tamrekar. Mr. Amit is the zonal head West with Fourth Partner Energy, which is India's leading renewable energy solution provider with clients across industries, institutions, government sectors, and they have done more than 1,800 installations, the cumulative capacity of which is more than 400 megawatt. Friends, Fourth Energy Partner is a finance partner for OPEX projects. Mr. Amit, he's an electrical engineer from RGTU. He has also done his MBA in marketing from MIT Pune and has a rich 12 years of professional experience in renewable energy sector and steel plant with where he worked for 3 years, then switched to business development and started working with Tyson Group Group at Nasik. Currently, he is associated with Fourth Partner Energy as zonal manager for West region. We also have today, of course, Major Priyanka, who is the co-founder and head marketing for Visol Renewable Energy Solution, Annex Army officer, green building consultant, and a solar PV expert. Major Priyanka has a bachelor's degree in architecture. She also has a business management certification from IIM Indore and PGDM operations from IMT Ghaziabad. She is a certified Griha trainer and Indian Green Building Council accredited professional, has a certification in solar PV technologies from IIT Bombay, and yes, a little about her army experience. Being an ex-army officer for 7 years, she was part of company commander. She was a company commander of a brigade engineering battalion where she was leading 200 soldiers, and was deputed in military engineering services, that is MES, sorry, where she was handling design and execution of defense infrastructure as joint director architect and also as assistant garrison engineer. She started Visol with us, all three of us, under the National Solar Mission in 2015, and that is when Visol was incorporated. So that was the introduction of all our panelists today. Let us start with the discussion that we are here for. I will start with Mr. Raghunandan and Mr. Om Prakash. Mr. Raghunandan first. Uh, so what kind of challenges that you are facing in today's COVID situation? Maybe.
So I think you began with a lot of scary news in the beginning. I didn't know Atlas Cycle was shut down. That's something.
Yes.
I stopped reading news. I thought, it's like there was this story. This guy said, hey, you know what? I read that if you drink. So the other guy said, that's okay, I'm illiterate. So the same story. If you don't listen to the news, you can be more positive is my lookout. But yeah, coming back to the point.
Unfortunately, the scene is, the news is as such.
No, I think these are grim times for sure.
Yes.
These are tough times for everybody. MSMEs and industry in general, it becomes more so because there are no doles, there is no you might call it that the government is giving us a subsidy or a loan or whatever, but they're still loans. They need to be repaid. Customers are not going to give money. Vendors are not going to give material without payments or very, very aggressive credit periods and stuff. So I think cash flow is one major issue that is going to be troubling all the MSMEs. Second is going to be exodus of manpower. There's a lot of migrant labor, and even otherwise, people are actually scared to step out their houses. So the fear is looming large, but what they don't realize is if you don't come out, you don't build up an immunity to the virus any which ways. So staying at home and then finally one fine day if they come out, they might actually fall ill. Compared to coming out every day, little by little, getting yourself acclimatized and making sure that you're not sick out here, because that is the tough part where if a man thinks that stepping out of the house he will fall sick, he definitely will. So that's the second part. And I think if the monsoons suffer this year, we will be in deep trouble because as of now, the only silver lining looks like agriculture is doing well. And this year the crop should be good. But if we do...
Yes, the predictions about monsoon has been good by the meteorological department.
The scary part is whenever the Met predicts something, the opposite happens. So that's the scary part that we are hoping that should not happen.
Yeah.
By and large, I think there is a lot of negativity also among MSMEs. But sitting and being negative about things will not happen. People have to change business models.
Very true.
People have to think new things. People have to upskill. The leaders have to upskill. The people underneath have to upskill. Everybody has to learn something new or go in another direction, change business models if required. But yeah, not everybody is going to be able to do that. And that is the reason why a lot of big companies as well as a lot of small companies and a lot of middle companies will actually shut down during this period, and that is practicality. So the only way where they can get out of it is by keeping doing something different, because what got you
Yes.
here won't take you there. Like Marshall Goldsmith. So
Yes.
so we
You some it goes like whatever you were doing, or the whatever way in which you're doing something, that is what has got you here. Now
correct,
if you want to move up, you have to change with the way of your thinking as well as the way of your working.
correct.
So
So Malcolm said
definitely.
it is like what got you here won't get you there. So then
Exactly.
it means today we need to survive as well as grow. So there is an opportunity. We are looking at China going down in manufacturing, whatever. We are looking at the West. No matter what they try, they cannot do anything. The US still will need manpower from hopefully India and other countries. So I think opportunity is there. So right now it's all about maintaining your direction and your altitude so that you don't crash. If you
Correct.
don't crash, I think the valley will come where you can smooth sail, and there the winds will take you across. So that's
Very
how
wise
I
words.
look at things. But I think coming down to, if you ask me, what are the three areas of work that are going to be plaguing MSMEs? The first is definitely going to be cash flows. The second is going to be manpower for working. And the third is going to be new contracts. Because when a recession or when something like this happens, the first thing people do is they freeze. They try to maintain
Mm,
status quo, but that's a big problem. Because if there is
very
no
true.
coding, everything down the line will be suffering. The government can do whatever they want by giving out doles or giving out free food. That will not help the economy. What will help the economy is consumption. So when they start right at the top, when they start your construction projects, when they start infrastructure projects, when they start giving out better subsidies or whatever they want to give, but start moving. Do not remain stagnant, because even a nala, when it flows, it doesn't stink. The moment a nala is stagnant, it starts stinking. So we need to remember that in our lives.
Right. The cycle has to, I mean, it has to keep moving. It
Yep.
cannot be stagnant.
Yep.
Very, very wise words, Mr. Raghunandan. Thank you. I'll move on to Mr. Om Prakash. He is from a manufacturing sector, and as Mr. Raghunandan say, Mr. Om Prakash, how your how what kind of challenges you are facing pertaining to just as Mr. Raghunandan was saying, cash flow issues, manpower issues. Please share your views. Mr. Om Prakash is on mute, so I would request the host to please unmute him, or Mr. Om Prakash, if he's on unmute yourself. Yes.
Hello, everyone, and
Good evening.
thanks a lot for Visal for inviting me for this wonderful session. Just carrying on from Mr. Raghunandan, what just he shared, the whole world is seeing this kind of situation for the first time. At least the current generation, or the people who are facing it for the first time. So as he mentioned, the no leadership at whatever level they have never seen this kind of challenge, which has been unprecedented. So this is some different challenges where every sector, whether it's manufacturing, services, or for that matter, any other sector, has to maneuver with a new kind of strategy. What has been being done in the past may not be applicable in the current times. So
Correct.
from my point of view, when we look at, this comes under three category basically, which I look at. That first is the combat, what we call fight. So we have to fight it out. The present situation, we have to fight it out, how we survive, how we make through this current situation for next 4 5 months, 6 months. Going ahead, maybe it may prolong for a year. So
Yeah,
we
maybe
have
year
to,
or a year and
nobody
a half.
knows till the time
Yes.
the vaccine comes or the solution comes. The fear psychosis is going to remain. So how we drive here out of it, that is going to be a challenge. So that is the fight part for the whole manufacturing sector. So, and the fight, once we have the fight challenge on all the fronts, on the human front, on the society front, on the business front, So on each of these fronts, we have to deal with in terms of fighting it out. Then we move on to rise, and which is like we have to figure out how we can get up out of this, how we have to manage our cash flows, how we have to reduce our costs, because there is no income for last 3 months. No company is having any income, or maybe just trickling income has started over the last 1 month or so. But then these are the times when your costs are still on. So how we take that challenge, that how we manage our costs, how we reduce our costs, how we still look at some of the areas where we can plug in our profit leakages. So those kind of things we have to be very, very particular in times to come. And thereafter, after the time when we move on from there, we have to get into the thrive part. That okay, now we have settled which will be our time in times to come to look at. And when we have to thrive, then we have to have the utility of all these new technologies which we have never been using so far so predominantly, like Internet of Things, the data-driven decision making. All these things will play a major role in driving out what are the costs which we can do, whereon we can save our costs, whereon we can bring in new ideas to create revenues, new revenue streams have to be thought of. Those kind of things will come and bring into the thriving part of the business. So seeing the pandemic, new leaders will get up and come to fore, because the old strategies, old situation may not be applicable in the times to come. That is going to be the real test of the time, when the new thinkers will come out, that yes, this is something out of box thinking, some new ideas, how we can reduce our costs, how we can create revenue streams which have never been thought of. Those kind of things will play a major role in bringing out all of us out of this pandemic crisis all across the globe. Yes.
Very, very true. Very true. Talking about this new technology that Mr. Om Prakash was saying, this is way back. Just to add a little content, as in way back in 2002 when I joined HSBC. That was my first job. So in HSBC, we were doing data processing, and we were interacting with clients from across the globe. There were clients, people, there was an office in USA, in Buffalo, in USA. We had an office in Hong Kong. We had an office in Colombo. We had an office in Bangalore. I was at the Bangalore office, and we had an office in Hyderabad. So that time we were doing all this video conferencing. I remember we had a very big screen today, and very limited number of people could interact, and there would be one speaker at the center of the meeting rooms. Everybody was like shouting, "Awaaz nahi aa rahi hai." So coming from there to this situation where 1,000 people can join together across the globe and have a discussion. So yes, we have to adopt to new technologies. In fact, when we were meeting our customers just 4-5 months back, everybody would say, "Nahi ma'am, samne aake milte hain. Let us meet across the table and discuss." Today, everybody is so very comfortable with Zoom. I mean, that time when we used to say, "Let us have a Skype call," people would say, "Nahi ma'am, aap office aa jao, fir baat karte hain." Now we are all very comfortably interacting on Zoom, and in whatever way, ठीक है, कम business हो रहा है, but the business is still moving. So technologies have to be changed, upgraded, and people should adopt to it. And this is what we are looking for. This is what Vishal is looking for. Uh, another query, Mr. Raghunandan, aapse, what kind of measures that you are planning to take? You were talking about cash flow, manpower shortage, getting new contracts. Any kind of step that you are trying to take, any strategies that you are planning so that you can overcome these issues in your company?
So step one, we've actually recast our business model, because that is the first thing that has to change. Unless you change your business model and make strategies, it will not work. Second, we started applying those strategies by talking to customers. So in a way, like what you're doing, like in our case, 50% of my work was aviation. But now I know for the next 1 or 2 years, I really can't expect anything out of that. But in spite of that, when we sit and strategize, we are actually going to double our turnover is our target. That's because we are getting other areas, other segments to come and get it done. And this is all coming from talking to the customer. The customer is giving us his problem areas, and we are trying to come up with solutions for those. So we were able to
Right.
like even bag in orders even during the lockdown without meeting customers and getting money in. So everything is not lost. Like I feel, end of the
Correct.
day, it's about the value you give, and the value the customer will give you will be proportionate to that.
Very
Today,
much.
one is not going to be the only criteria. People are looking to go, get more. So I think whatever you guys are doing also is good in terms of coming and helping to save costs, because for a lot of manufacturing concerns, power is going to be a major cost.
Big time, sir.
And if that can get saved, exactly what even Om Prakash said, that there are only two ways to make a profit. One is to increase your cost price. Other is to decrease your cost price. Other is increase your selling price. Today, increasing selling price is going to be out of,
Not work.
it will come down. So unless you
Correct.
keep your cost price down without compromising anything on safety or quality or whatnot, so those are going to actually increase. The emphasis on safety will go up. The emphasis on other things will go up. Green energy will still remain. This oil price, what it is right now, is only temporary. Today, if you're looking at a zero or a negative rate of crude oil, trust me, in the next 1 year, the powers
It
that are
just,
there, they will try their best to create a situation where it will come back to $70. And with that,
yes.
coupled with recession, you will have a problem. So renewable energy is the way forward, at least, on those energy intensive events. Whereas in other places, people will have to look at recasting their business models and seeing where they can reduce muda and muri from their own operations. That is, reduce all kinds of wastage within your own operations. That is the only way that you can really survive, because that
Very
is
much.
not value add. The moment you remove one thing out of a value added that you were giving to the customer, he will not see what else you're giving. He will only go back on that. For example, like when we reopened and my guys ordered some, vada pav or something like that from my pantry guy. So the first thing they saw is vada has become smaller.
Or the
अरे
mirchi ka
lockdown से पहले
quantity
वड़ा
has
बड़ा था.
reduced.
Lockdown से पहले वड़ा was bigger and now it's smaller and you're charging the same. So then he came back and said, "Arey sir, costs have gone up and this and that, whatever." But still, my guys were very unhappy with it. They're like, "Sir, he's
Right.
cheating us." So I said, "Okay, let us, live with this for now for a little while.
At least
Either
for
you
some.
stop eating vada pav or else get used to it for now." So that is exactly what every manufacturing company is going to try to do, where they're going to look at every cost, try to see where can you suppress that cost. But if it comes at the impact of quality, then they're being looking at the short-term picture, and long-term they will suffer. So same thing
Right.
out here. If MSMEs are thinking that they want to be a going concern, if MSMEs are thinking that they want to grow tomorrow, and today for short term, if they start firing people, they will not grow, because tomorrow whoever employees are left are going to remember that this guy did not hold the hands of those employees and he got them
In
out.
adverse times.
So I think
Correct.
in all probability we should keep all of them, and we should re-engineer ourselves to get more work so that you sustain and do that. Nandan, in fact, is hiring more people. I see that as an opportunity.
Infosys is,
Good
yeah,
quality
definitely.
manpower is actually coming into the job market. So we are
Correct.
looking to hire from that same job market.
Very good. Mr. Om Prakash, taking from here, you were talking about cost reduction strategies that you are applying in your company. How easy is it? Mr. Raghunandan also said quality has to be maintained. You cannot increase the profit and still you have to cut down on your cost. So how easy or difficult is it for you to manage all this cost reduction, keeping in mind the quality and pertaining to the profits that you need to earn, and still and not reducing the and not increasing the price margins also?
Uh, yeah, exactly. Taking cue from what Raghu just shared, the whole business environment is undergoing a lot of challenges on supply chain disruptions, your manufacturing costs, which are the elements, those have to be broken up and reassessed. And that is where, for manufacturing sectors, people like us, where power is a major cost, people who are having heat treatments in their facilities, they know how it bleeds when your furnaces are on. So those are the serious concerns and to be looked at, that how we can reduce. Every time you start a furnace afresh, it's going taking away too much of power. So all those avenues need to be looked at, how we can streamline, even if we have to run smaller furnaces, or how we can reduce on the cost element, what better ways to manage the other maintenance activities within the factories, so that those costs are going to be the real driver for the new uh, times to come. Because what is going to happen is that fresh investments or capital investments for next 2-3 years, people will just defer. People are going to defer because it is more of a challenge to manage the current situation. So current operations have to be first brought up, as I said, to a level where you have to be bring back to the pre-COVID era. And then people will start thinking of any fresh or new capital investment. So how to manage the operational cost of your existing setups in terms of power, in terms of human capital. When we are seeing, as you mentioned, there are new talents available in the market, how we can have there also, in terms of the gig economy is coming up, that okay, fresh talents are available, how we can make use of them to manage the shows on the need basis as and when required basis. So those are the things are going to play a major role in being from solar energy, how the small industry, the small manufacturing setups can take advantage of these and come out with new ideas of reducing costs. That is going to be the driver for the times to come. That's what I feel from manufacturing point of view.
Right. Very, what would I say? The scenario, everybody is struggling. I mean, as both our participants are saying regarding the cost-cutting issues that Mr. Om Prakash is saying, regarding the cash flow issue that Mr. Raghunandan mentioned. It seems like the revenues has come down, and this really necessitates cost reduction in the operation in almost all the companies. Now, we at Visol, we live to its purpose of helping industries grow their business by saving the cost of energy and be part of the India growth story. Let us try and understand how solar energy can, be of use in this case. So, I would request Major Priyanka to take us through a very brief profile of our company, Visol Renewable Energy Solutions. So, Major Priyanka, can you please?
Yeah, good evening, everyone. So I'll just share my presentation. So welcome one and all, and thank you, Jyoti, for this opportunity. So what we've heard from Mr. Raghu, Mr. Om Prakash, and what the newspapers, the websites, all the media is saying. So these are difficult times for all of us, but as Raghu said, people who are the real winners will be ones who will take this as an opportunity and come out with innovative solutions. Same thing was backed by Mr. Om Prakash as well. So I, being one of the co-founders of Visol, I would just take you through a brief of what we do and why and how solar can be, one of the tools as a cost reduction, for the cost reduction. So just, and then we have Amit also with us from Fourth Partner. So from the solar industry, we have come out with solutions where we can help the industries where they need not invest, and it can be a long-term association. And without paying anything, the costs can be down as saved as at almost 50%, or in cases when we go for capex, then it can be 100% also. So I'll just run through. So Visol is your green energy partner. Our purpose is, as Jyoti said, is to help industries grow their business by saving on the cost of the energy uses and be part of the India growth story. So we are the a company which is only focused to industries. We don't work in various other segments, only for industries, because that is one segment which is paying the highest tariffs because of the cross subsidy, and it makes more economical and financial sense for the industries to go for renewables. So we are a solar EPC expert, and we have customized solution for grid tied and solar rooftop power plants. And the most important part is that we have appropriate financial models which is required for such a capital intensive project, so that industries can adopt the same. And of course, the carbon footprint reduction is one of the major issues. We have Paris Climate Summit. We have commitments till 2030 to keep the global temperatures within 1.5 degrees Celsius. So, of course, the government is also taking a lot of initiatives. This is our team. Of course, Jyoti and Aparna is our third partner. She's also a master in sciences, and she's also handling another business which is into cold storages. We at Visol, our vision is to be the first name for quality solar solutions. So what our USP is, we insist on quality. The life cycle of a plant is 25 years. So the kind of installation and the components which has to be used have to be of a particular quality. Otherwise, the system does not generate. And our mission is to provide customized solution by educating our clients on the best quality and practices in solar power plants, and supporting them with the financial solutions. Giving an awesome experience is, yes, one of the most important things that we look at, because experience of an Indian client getting a project done is not so good. So we've tried to come out with various solutions, including a experience center as well as an app wherein we can give an awesome experience to the client. And our core values: quality, customer service, and providing right value. So these are the kind of services I will not repeat. So, and this is what are our strengths. Of course, we are MEDA registered. We adopt the latest technologies. We have this app, which we said, anyone can track during the project duration and post the project. And we have experience in dynamic team. These are some of the additional value-added services that we do, especially for our industrial clients. These are some of the projects that we've done. These are the green building projects. These are some of the railway projects. This is Rail Nirman Nigam for Indian Railways at Sikandrabad, which is a Griha 3-star rated building. And this is Indian Railways LEED Platinum building and Griha 5-star, that is at Pune. Green buildings are basically the energy efficient buildings which compulsorily have a renewable component, that is a solar rooftop. So these are some of our projects. We were actively working with Government of Nagaland for the rural electrification. We do training programs, some CSR projects, some awareness programs. And I'll just go in brief on this slide. This is a typical solar system which we call as a on-grid system. So the simple system is that the solar generates DC electricity which is converted into AC through an inverter, and the whole on-grid system is in sync with the grid, that it can be MSAB, Tata or Reliance. And we have a net meter in between. A net meter is a replacement of a normal meter, where which records the import and the export both. So whenever you go for an on-grid system, you can generate your own electricity, and whatever is generated in the daytime, which is extra, can be exported and recorded in the net meter. And the evening again, when you switch on your lights, that we imported back. So that is the kind of technology and the system which is now prominent, and the government is also promoting. So in this kind of system, it is possible that your bills can actually become zero when you have a kind of roof space or ground space where you can put a system which will generate equivalent to your total consumption. Now the important question, is it worth going solar? Yes. So if we have data which says, you know, how the electricity cost is rising and it is going to rise in the future, and how the cost of solar components are coming down. So this is, I think these two factors are the most important factors, apart from, yes, the economic slowdown now, you know, added on by the pandemic, that says more to go on renewables. So if we see this graph, you can see that the cost of the solar panels has, you know, regularly decreased from 2013 to 18. This is the data that we have, and in India, it has come down around 57%. This is a recent study where we are considering the average billing rates. If you see, and this is related to Mumbai and Maharashtra, we have Reliance, Tata, and MECDCL, and especially this is for commercial and industrial. In scenario 1, if you see, it is 12.48 for the commercial, and industrial it is 11.79. And in normal scenarios, if the scenario 1 is when the current energy mix continues, and scenario 2 is when we have the renewable energy component also coming up and adding on to our total portfolio. So if the scenario 1 continues, you can see the kind of the tariff which is going to come in another 4-5 years. That's, if you see in industrial case, it is around 15.63, and in commercial 16.53. So that is the kind of escalation which is going to happen. Same in terms of rupees, if you say, if you see the base case, if it is 8 rupees now, it will go to 15.56. It might reduce in scenario 2 if we have more renewables coming in. And I'll just say a few words regarding the solar finance model. So we have the CAPEX and OPEX models. CAPEX is something which in which you spend you invest your in the money in the solar power plant, and you reap the benefits for 25 years. OPEX is a model wherein there is a third-party investor who will invest, and you will have a power purchase agreement with the investor, and you will be paying to the investor based on the number of units generated or used per month. And of course, the tariff that you will be paying is less than what you are going to pay to MECDCL or Tata or Reliance. So, of course, fourth partner, Amit is representing fourth partner is our funding partners, and he will tell you more about the OPEX one. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you, Amit. So, I'll just hand it over to Amit.
Yeah, so now we have listened Mr. Raghunandan, Mr. Om Prakash ji. We have seen the challenges the industry is facing, the heat definitely because of this COVID situation. We all know well that since last 2-3 months, everything is stopped. So obviously that regular operations, regular earning, regular turnover is get reduced. So Priyanka ji has shown some light on how the solar is working, how we can introduce it into the industries, and how it can be beneficial. Now I'm going to present something like here that Priyanka ji told us the two models. One is capital expenses done by the consumer, that is the CAPEX model, and in another model where we will invest on and we will charge based on the unit basis, where client need not to invest anything initially. Okay, so at this current situation where the cash flow issues are going on, where the industries are seeking the solution for the cost cutting and all. I feel that OPEX model has become a very good solution to overcome, to support in that situation. So I'll share one of my presentation where I have a small introduction about my company, and then we'll slowly move towards that how the solar will be the cost effective and cost saving tool for the industries. Yeah, so I'm basically from the Fourth Partner Energy. Fourth Partner Energy is established in 2010, and we are working into the solar energy sector since last 10 years. Till now, we have almost 230 plus megawatt of distributed solar capacity installed in all over India, along, along with the 142 megawatt open access capability. Open access is what we provide offside, like not within the premises. It will be outside of premises, and we will supply it to the using the government infrastructure, transmission line and distribution line. Other than that, so in totality, if we see cumulative order capacity till now, we have 400 megawatt installation around the India. This year, we have around 120 plus megawatt orders in pipeline, with like till now we have done 1800 plus installation in almost the 23 states of India. So you can say that almost we have covered almost each states of India, and with that we have complete operation and maintenance facility in all over India. Along with that, Fourth Partner is having international presence also. We have started the operation in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Vietnam, and along with that, some more countries we are exploring. So in that international foray, we have 10 megawatt project already executed. Out of this, majority is in Sri Lanka. Vietnam is also very favorable country for the solar. So soon we will increase our share in this Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, and Vietnam locations. Now, how we can provide the solar power plant to the industries? So there are multiple solutions we can offer. One is based on the model of a financial model, that is rooftop solar that will be on site. It is not exactly rooftop. It can be ground mounted or rooftop, but it will be within the premises of the industry. That's why we called it on-site model. So in on-site model, there are the two models, where is CapEx and the OpEx. CapEx and OpEx we already discussed in the previous discussion. Secondly, in in the on-site, there is another option, carport or the ground mounted. Ground mounted is simply if you have the spare land within the premises, we can install there. Carport is kind of very effective model where you can utilize that land. We will increase the height of the structure in a way that you can use it as a car parking or as in any vehicle parking, and so that that land will get utilized. Along with that, we will install the solar panel on that. Third model is open access model, where the plant will be installed somewhere away from the location, away from the premises, and we will supply the power through the grid, to the government infrastructure, transmission line and distribution line. For this open access model, the minimum connected load should be 1 megawatt as per the regulatory norms. And other than that, we are also working on floating solar, but still many thing is going on, many research is going on in floating. So basically, for now, these three models are very much common in India, if we can say. Now comes to the COVID situation. We have listened to speakers before in this webinar. They are well based in industries. They are running their own industries since long, so they have well described that what the challenges they are facing. I have also pointed down some of the challenges. Since last 3 months, we know that the industries are running are shut down or running with a less load. So almost approximate 25 to 30% loss in production, which will definitely impact the balance sheet of this year, profit and loss account of this year for each and every company. Secondly, export shrink by 40% in last past 2 months. So this will impact very badly to the companies who are more export oriented, who are manufacturing India and selling their material out of India. So because of this, international transportation is stopped. So many of these companies are facing heat because of it. Third very common challenges companies are facing, as their customers are also shut down. Their customers are also not working at the full pledge for 100% with CUF, 100% CUF. So many of their customers are cancelling the orders due to this economic slowdown. Another challenge is, I think Mr. Om Prakash has clearly mentioned this, that disruption in supply chain. Our industrial operation and industrial revenue is largely depend on the supply chain management. And during this COVID situation, the supply chain is affected very badly. And for around 2 months, everything was stopped. All borders are closed. So we cannot move our material from one location to another location, even if it is like finished. Even the finished good are not able to supply to the different locations. So these are these basic challenges the companies has faced in last 2-3 months. So now now this situation arises, like we were not willing to get into this situation, but unfortunately we are facing this situation. So we have to face it anyhow. So now how to recover out of this situation? Companies are facing it, obviously, but we cannot be in this situation for long. We have to recover anyway. So there are some solutions for the recovery. First is getting the government incentive schemes, which is already announced, but I feel that on the ground level, it will take a time to reflect to the companies. Even we have to see whether these whatever announced is really helpful for the industries or not. There are a lot of questions on that. So that is again a long term, we can say long term method of recovering the loss. Another one is to change the strategy. Now our market demand changes a lot. Many things which we have never listened is now becoming like part of the life. So the market requirement, market demand will change drastically. So the base for the recovery, companies has to alter their strategy, change their strategy to meet the market requirement. But this will also reflect lately in the year. Like if we will change the strategy today, we'll get the we'll starting to get the benefit by the end of the year or by the next year. Okay. So what we can do immediately to overcome all these losses is just one solution is to reduce the cost of operation. So as the other panelists also said that the cost cutting is definitely a good option to recover from this situation. But at the same time, we should remember that the quality of material or quality of supply should not be changed, should not be compromised. So here we have a solution. Like I have seen that this. I want to ask with our other panelists also. I have seen that electricity is one of the major costs had in the industry. Like we can say it comes, if we consider top 10 cost head of the industry, electricity may comes at the fourth or the third or the fourth number in any industry. Okay, so if anyhow we can reduce the cost of these electricity supply to the industries, we feel that definitely there may be a positive impact on the profitability of the company, and that in turn reflect on the profit and loss statement of the company at the end of the year. So considering this point, Fourth Partner Energy has bringing the OPEX model for such kind of industry who are the who have the regular consumptions. So in the OPEX model, we install the solar power plant on our own cost. We will take care of operation and maintenance of that plant. client need not to pay anything initially for that client, and we will enter into the long-term agreement with the client that called as power purchase agreement. So under that power purchase agreement, we will offer some tariff, solar tariff, which is that is generated from our solar power plant. Okay, that tariff will obviously be lesser than, as Priyanka ji told, that it will be always lesser than the grid tariff. So in that way, if we are reducing the cost of the power which you are taking from the grid, that definitely will reduce your company's cost, electricity cost. Okay, so in this way, we have an aim to reduce the cost of electricity by 40 to 45%. Now, is this really effective? Is this like I am saying that we will offer this model, but there is a question whether on ground it is really fruitful or it is really beneficial for the industry. So for that, I am bringing some case studies where we will give you the details of already installed plant, which is being done by the board partner, and how the customers are getting benefit of these solar power plants. So these are the details of one of the plant, one of the industry, Bridgestone India. We all know that Bridgestone is the pioneer in the tire industry. Okay, so in Bridgestone, Port Partner Energy has first installed 1.7 megawatt in Pithampur in MP, and then they reviewed the plant for some time, and they have seen the positive outcome of the plant. They are saving on the power cost. So then they again approached us and gave us the order of 4 megawatt in Chakan. So now this is we have installed in the two plants of the Bridgestone. We are already in touch with them for other plants also. So with these two plants, we will show you that how they are getting the profit. First of all, these both of the plant, if we compare, then cumulative we are reducing the cost of electricity by 45% to them. Whatever their cost of electricity with the grid, we have offered the tariff by 45% lesser than that. So in all this plant is installed in very quick time. Like if you see 1.7 megawatt is installed in 3 months, 4 megawatt is installed in only in 4 months. So this can be the immediately solution. Immediately in 3-4 months, you can start saving on the electricity. And with that, you can see the saving of Bridgestone Chakan is 2.4 CR on 4 megawatt plant, and Bridgestone Pithampur is 76 lakh over the 1.7 megawatt in Pithampur. So these are the yearly saving they are getting from the solar power plant. Now this was the tire industry. I am taking it moving toward the other industry as well. There may be a question in the mind that it may be workable in one industry but may not meet the demand of other industry as well. So now there is a second example of cement industry where we have installed with Ultratech Cement. Ultratech Cement we have installed in a three location: Hyderabad, Jharsuguda, Odisha, and Katni, Madhya Pradesh. You can see the capacity wise, there is 1 megawatt, 2 megawatt, and 3.6 megawatt. These capacity we derive based on their consumption, based on the space availability, and there are many other aspects. So based on that, we derive this capacity. And if you see the yearly saving of these companies, at Hyderabad, we are getting a saving of 52.5 lakh. Somewhere in Jharsuguda, as it is 2 megawatt plant, they are getting somewhere 1.05 CR saving. And in Katni, somewhere close to 2 CR that saving they are getting. So third example I am taking from the bearing industry. This is kind of, we can say, engineering industry. So in INA bearing, we have installed the 750 kilowatt solar power plant. It is in Pune itself, where this overall plant is executed in 50 days only. So the industry, from the 0 day when they were taking the power from the grid to 50th day, they started saving on, they started taking the power from the solar and started saving on that. So if we see that in that 750 kilowatt project, they are getting yearly approximate 40 lakh, 39.5 lakhs yearly saving. So further, if we go ahead, I have a last example of PepsiCo. PepsiCo, everybody knows that it is into the food and beverages. So, they have a very huge consumption. Okay, so we have installed them one ground-mounted plant in Aurangabad, that is 1200 kilowatt. You can see the photograph here, and 1 megawatt plant in Ranjangaon near Pune. So if you see the annual saving from these two plants is 72 lakh and 60 lakhs they are saving, and the execution timeline was only 90 days. So from the day zero to within 3 months they started saving this much of amount from the solar. So in this way, showing all these case study means my motto behind is we are not telling, we are not discussing on paper. Actually, this is all actual cases which we have installed, which we have seen, which we have analyzed, and based on that, we have got this much of saving. So whatever we are offering, that is on ground as well, and the timeline. The companies, as we see, there are 3-4 options to have a cost cutting, but this can be the immediate option. We can immediately start saving the uh, 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 saving the money from this going to the solar. So with these 4 case studies, I want to conclude my presentation. And if any of you have doubts, any questions, please be free.
Uh, Thank you, Amit, for all this presentation. I have a query before you move further. What kind of paperwork or permissions that these companies require if they want to go solar, especially the OPEX model that we are discussing right now?
Yeah, Jyoti, see, this OPEX model is some kind of financing model we are offering for the solar. Okay, so there will be a requirement of, like, if we go with we go to the bank for the finance, the bank definitely asks for some financials from the company. So we also have that kind of financial analysis of the company. So we may need the balance sheet of the company who want to go for the OPEX model. That balance sheet can be the 3-year balance sheet, last 3-year balance sheet we can analyze. Along with that, credit rating is very much required. There are many credit rating agencies like CRISIL, CARE,
Yes.
Samara. So industries has to do that credit rating when they are going for the loan. Okay, banks always ask for such credit rating. So same credit ratings is required for us also. As we are investing for minimum 10 to 15 years for these industry, so we are expecting that the company should have that kind of credentials. So that's why we need minimum triple B plus credit rating to provide this OPEX model.
Triple B plus credit
Yeah.
rating is what you
So
are
these are the
expecting.
financial documents which we required. Other than that, some for the calculation of solar capacity and all, we need 12-month electricity bill, their site details, or if not, if site details are not there, our engineer can visit the site and will take the that inputs. So that is not a big issue. But
Right.
main thing is that financial criteria should fulfill.
Okay, we have a question here. I'll just take this up. What
Yeah,
will
sure.
be the per megawatt cost for rooftop solar, and how much time will it take to install it?
Yeah,
Cost
this cost
cost is zero
actually,
in OPEX.
yeah, cost actually depend on the model. If it is into
Right.
the OPEX model, then there will be no initial cost, no installation cost. And as I show you that in the presentation itself, this is the last slide, which is still on the PepsiCo. It is 1.2 megawatt. So 90 days we have executed. It was on ground mounted. So ground mounted took some more time.
Little more
If it is,
time. Yes.
yeah, if it is a rooftop system, then 1 megawatt can be executed within 2 months itself.
Right. Just to summarize all the points that Mr. Amit has just shared, he is talking about returns of like 2.5 crore, yes, 2.5 crore for a 4 megawatt that they have installed. And just to give you an idea, a 2.5 crore can generate 2.5 crore savings that you are getting from a 4 megawatt plant. This 4 megawatt plant is going to generate 16,000 units per day. So if the factory, as Mr. Om Prakash was earlier saying, there are heat treatment plants, if I'm not wrong. So where the furnace has to run continuously, where the electricity is a very big requirement, the consumption is very high. So if such plants, they go for these OPEX models, without investing, and I repeat, without investing anything, they can save big amount. I mean, 2.5 crore or even 76 lakhs that we have mentioned for a 1.5 megawatt plant. They are huge savings for companies. I hope people agree with
Jyoti, I
this.
think, sorry to interrupt you, I think Mr. Prakash
Yes.
is from the bearing industry. Okay, so this is the
Yes.
live model of, we have worked with INA Bearing in Pune. So this is the live example of the same industry, that how much the bearing industry is saving 39.5 CR or 39.5 lakhs from a 750 kilowatt system. This is the yearly saving they are getting. So in that way, almost if the industry is same, I can understand that CUF capacity of the factory will be different. Okay, so along with that, this total capacity or this solar plant capacity will also change. But in the same ratio, they can achieve the annual saving in the electricity.
Right. Actually, I think Mr. Om Prakash should suggest this to his company now. Okay, we have some more questions coming up. We will definitely answer them. But before that, I would like to ask Major Priyanka. She was discussing about the CAPEX model in her presentation. So, Major Priyanka, can you just give us a very brief, as you're working with industry, especially in Mumbai and Pune? So, what kind of returns do you see if people go for capex model? As in, you were also talking about the tariffs. What tariffs? How much the tariff could rise in next 10 to 15 years compared to what they are today. So, how do you see? Is this some way that it can benefit the industries?
Definitely, whenever we speak to industrial or commercial customers, whenever we approach them, initially they are very hesitant that, okay, we don't want to invest so much. And we say, sir, okay, we have finance option for you. You will go for OPEX model. And as soon as we go and discuss them and we show the kind of benefits that they will have, CAPEX versus OPEX, then if they have the liquidity, they always prefer to go for a capex model. Capex is something if I have a factory of say where I am putting 1 megawatt plant, then I am going to invest around say 3 to 3.5 CR, and the same and I'll be reaping the benefits. So the return on investment time is very less. It is 2 to 3 years, depending upon the kind of tariffs that you are paying. The other benefit is that almost say 25 to 25% of the amount that you are investing, you will be saving in the accelerated depreciation that you will get. So in a capex project, the typical accelerated AD benefit which you get for commercial entities or commercial connection is 40, 40 and 20%. So in the first year itself, you are going to save 40% of your investments. So if we calculate that and we actually give an Excel sheet and they understand that almost 1/3 of the amount of their invested they are saving in taxes. So this is what is the benefit of capex model. But of course, when the size of the plants go high, when we have a captive or a group captive project, so we definitely have to take the help of funding agencies,
investors,
and our funding partners. And I think fourth partner is doing great work with us together. Thank you.
Definitely.
Amit, I have a question for you. If in the rooftop model, if somebody goes for an OPEX, will you set up the entire infrastructure also on your own, or is there some kind of an investment required from, suppose I have a factory with a roof, and for that you need to do mounting or whatever else, the cabling, wiring, mounting. So everything is taken care of by you?
Yes, sir. Actually, till roof is the scope of the client. You have to provide us the clear roof at the site. Other than roof, everything is in our scope. We will do the mounting of panels, we will do the cabling, we will do all the approvals, permissions, whatever licensing part is required from the government, that everything will be our part. So like from after signing the agreement, the client need to give us only the clear site with the clear roof. Everything will be our response.
Got it.
Even
And
after
just
installation, the
yes.
operation and maintenance till the tenure of that agreement. For example, we are signing an agreement for 15 years. So till 15 years, operation and maintenance is also taken by us. We will just give you the generated units to you. We will give the commitment for some generated unit, like this much unit we will supply to you every year. So that kind of agreement will be there.
Just summarizing again for what Amit has said regarding an OPEX model, you just have to give us a purchase order and say, yes, we want to go ahead with a solar power plant. And as per the size, maybe 2 months or 3 months post that, once the plant is commissioned, you, instead of paying to the grid, the DISCOM, you need to pay to the investor as per the power purchase agreement. And again, zero investment. No investment, the entire designing, cabling, everything will be the headache of the investor and the EPC company. And again, I'm repeating, even the maintenance is the headache of the EPC company or the investor, I mean, as per the agreement. So all you have to do is, please mera roof le lo or plant laga do. And then once the plant is installed, instead of paying say 11 rupees or 12 rupees, I'm just giving a figure because that is generally the commercial rates or the industrial rates in Maharashtra as of now. A very rough figure, 11 or 12 rupees the grid tariff is, after all the taxes and everything. Instead of that, you might end up spending maybe 7 rupees, or if the plant is bigger, maybe even less than that. We are talking about 50 to 30% reduction in your electrical consumption, which can be really huge amount. So just to take view of our panelist, Mr. Om Prakash, how beneficial would you consider it for your company going solar? Either OPEX, CAPEX, as per your convenience. You want to invest, that is also okay. You don't want to invest, we have solution for that also. So how beneficial do you find it for your companies?
See, that's a good question from the point of view that present times every manufacturing company is facing very difficult times on cash flows. So the obvious first answer is that OPEX model is the no-brainer. So we have to go by OPEX model. And I see a big opportunity for our company also, which based on the discussions what Amit shared, and I'm going to take it forward for sure. So how things move up, because we are into manufacturing and we have a similar to what INA plant you showed, they're also in the similar kind of business what we are in. So it's a big opportunity, and most of the manufacturing companies today will look at OPEX model, and you have to just make it win-win kind of presentation to them. And anybody and everybody would like to go for any money saved in present times is like money earned. So that's the thing which I also look at that way.
That's great. Mr. Raghu,
one thing, Jyoti, sorry, one thing
yes,
I want to describe further to our panelists as well as the audience. We are talking, like Mr. Om Prakash said, that right now the cash flow is the major issue for the company. Okay? So we have that one option as well, that for a particular time, for a time being, if the company is having the cash flow issue, but in future, if they want to acquire that asset, if they want to acquire that solar power plant, at the time of signing the power purchase agreement, we will give you the buyback offer, buyback values of that plant.
Okay.
So it will be depreciated year on year. So we will give you that depreciated value at the back of that, at the sum of the clause of that PPA, where you can buy out it, say after 5 years, your company has the enough cash flow. You don't want to go for the long-term agreement with any company. You can just pay their that depreciated value of that plant, and that is previously decided. No other discussion, no other discount, no other add-on on value. Everything is decided at the time of signing the agreement only, and you just take that power, that plant, and that you will be the owner of that plant.
Okay.
Right, your roof, your plant, without any investment in the beginning, and then when you can or when you want to, you can have it, you can own it. So,
Okay.
Mr. Raghunandan, your views also. Do you find it beneficial? Any positive? I would like to have positive comments rather.
Yeah. So I think it's a because I have been exploring solar. It is like, one of those projects to do, and we started and then we stop it because in one of my factories, the roof I need to change it. So that is the reason why we've not done it till now. But maybe in the other factory we can consider putting it immediately on an OPEX basis, since I don't really lose anything. And like Amit said, if there is a future buyout potential, it sounds kind of
Yeah.
decent, because only difference in the OPEX is you lose out on the depreciation. That's all. But otherwise, I think it's
Yes.
a fantastic.
Yeah, Raghunandan ji, that depreciation also, if you buy out it after some time, like whenever you buy out, you will definitely entitle for that accelerated depreciation.
Correct. Correct. So yeah, we will definitely explore the option. Looks good.
One more thing, Major Priyanka, can you please elaborate on the importance of maintenance here? Because I see people, especially right now with the cyclones and all going on, we have seen the kind of disasters happening with the solar power plant, panels falling down, unke pillars toot gaye hain, and things like that. So some comments from you on the quality that has to be maintained in case of installing a power plant.
Yes, of course. One very important thing to be noted is the solar panel itself have their own dead weight apart from the structure. So a typical panel will weigh between 25 to 30 kgs, you know, each individual panel. So whenever we are designing a solar power plant, first very important thing to consider is the structure itself on which we have. If it's a rooftop, and we have to consider the stability of the structure. If it's a very old building, then we really need to get it assessed from a civil engineer so that it can carry that kind of dead loads first. Second, the quality of components that we use, the quality of the structure which is used, which we say the module mounting structure, the MMS, that has to be, the design has to be proper by a civil engineer, and also the quality and the typical measurements that we have to use, that has to be taken care of. Like in the industry today, what is happening is anyone with a little bit of knowledge, they are coming and any kind of work is being done. So that is why say we want to be the first name for quality solar solutions. We are not in the numbers game, because suppose if we are trying to put something at our home, we definitely want it to be more stable. So that is how the quality is very important. Otherwise, I think of late even we have seen a lot of posts on social media moving on where the panels have actually flown away. So, and it was especially regarding the structure. Suppose in Mumbai and surrounding areas, we have, sea coastal areas. So here, any kind of structure which is even GI is not very suitable. Like we definitely recommend HDGI. Maybe the cost may be a little higher, but then we are thinking of a lifetime of 25 to 30 years. In fact, our system works more than 25 years. Some of the initial panels that have been installed are now almost 40 years now, and they're up and running.
Right. So it is very important when you are going for solar, please ensure that you are very, very careful about the quality of components that the vendor is using, be it any company, be it us, or be it anybody you're going on with. It is necessary that the components are of utmost, the best quality available in the market. I would proudly like to comment here, we have installed a power plant in Bandra, which is next to the sea, and thankfully it is very, very much proper even after the cyclone that happened recently in Mumbai. So that is one installation that we have done in the near the sea.
Are the panels Chinese or Indian?
They are Indian. We have a question here from the participants also. Mr. Vijay, he says, on the background, unfriendly RE policies from many states, do you think industries would really be able to reduce their energy cost? And also discoms are creating hurdles when industries seek permission for solar rooftop or get approved, add new charges through the regulator. So what would be the way forward on solar? How much impact how much impact on supply chain on solar? 70% panels come from China. Regarding the second part, impact on supply chain, yes, a huge percentage of the panels are imported from China even today. But we are coming up, the Indian companies are also coming up with excellent efficiency panels, very efficient panels, right from manufacturing the wafers to the entire panel. Initially, mostly the wafers were imported; they were just encapsulated in the glass frame, and they were branded Indian. But now we have companies who are Indian companies who are manufacturing the wafers right from zero to making the entire panel, and they are increasing. Plus, the government initiative has been very, very strong. We all know about the solar mission that the Prime Minister and the Renewable Energy Association of India has been doing. The IREDA and all the other associations, the SECI is there, IREDA is there. So a lot of work the government is supporting. Yes, here and there are little hurdles. But let me tell you, if you want to go solar and if you want to go for either OPEX or CAPEX model, this paperwork and everything will be the headache of the EPC company, at least in the scenario of Visol as well as Fourth Partner Energy. So that is something. But Amit, would you like to comment on this, the unfriendly RE policies of the states? Any comment from your
Yeah,
end?
obviously. See, I just want to say, government is obviously supporting the solar power plant. We always seen that central government is bringing some schemes, state government is bringing in different states. Obviously, there are some hurdles. There are some policy which are not favorable. Discoms obviously and seeing solar as a competitor for them. Okay, so they are not very much comfortable with the high capacity solar power plants. Okay, but still these challenges are everywhere in each and every industry. Like you can say in other industries also, government policies are challenging. People are facing many challenges in fulfilling their government norms and all. So this is the part of the business. Like we have to work with that. We have to follow the policy, and to make the ease of all this thing, as Jyoti has said, that everything licensing part of, like, since from the right from the permission to the all the approval, design approval and all, we will take in our hand, because see, we have our expertise in that. We know that who are the responsible for department, who are the, how we can get the approvals from the department. But if we will involve the client on this, then maybe it is not the focus area for them. Their, for the client, their focus area will be their own operations and all. So that's why all this licensing part we will do. So I think client will not face any of this hurdle of government policies and all. And overall, policies are favoring, but yes, there are a lot of challenges which every industry has to face. Uh, on that China import from the China, I would definitely comment that not only in solar, again I'll compare it with other industry as well. Electronic industries usually depend on the China. Yeah, every, like in India, almost each and every industry for their raw materials or for their any component, they are hugely dependent on the China. Okay, so as the solar is also dependent on China, but now the as Jyoti said, that many companies are coming up with the good quality manufacturing. They have their own R&D, and good research and development is going on in India. And I think after this COVID, it will definitely increase further. It's the right time to switch to the Indian manufacturing in different industry, not only in solar, but each and every industry. We should develop our R&D in India, and we should depend we should reduce the dependency not only on China but any other country as well. As as Modi ji says that we have to become a Atmanirbhar. So
Atmanirbhar Bharat,
if
yes.
we start manufacturing our own requirement in our country itself, so कभी भी ऐसा COVID जैसा situation आया तो we will ready to deal with such situation.
Somehow the way I mean कुछ एक इंडिया का वो सिनारियो या मेंटालिटी है, लोग बहुत ज्यादा R&D या प्रोडक्शन में नहीं जाते हैं. I just hope this COVID thing changes changes this mentality, and not just for solar, for everything we get into production, because we have the numbers, we have the capacity. I think we can definitely do it. I mean Mr. Om Prakash is from the supply chain. Amit was saying कि बहुत सारी चीजें are there which we are importing from China. It is not just about solar. Mr. Om Prakash, are you also I mean supply chain में how's the things regarding import from China?
See, as
A
of
short
now,
comment.
as of now, the whole world is too much dependent on Chinese manufacturing base. But this corona or the COVID has taught us a big lesson that we all have to be, self-dependent, and that's what we also can do it. And with our vision of the government and the Prime Minister, we must uh, take that initiative as a good opportunity. So, in the hindsight, this has come as a good opportunity for all of us to make India a manufacturing base ourselves. Majorly automotive suppliers, they are now rethinking on that plan, and that dependency is going to get down very drastically in next 2 to 3 years. And so is with all other manufacturing sectors are thinking of.
One question I'll take. Mr. Girish Pai has written, if in open access, if our consumption is 750 kilowatt, can we enter agreement unit and Mumbai Tata Power Company?
Yeah, Jyoti, here they want to say that their sanction load is 750 kilowatt. So whether they can go for the open access model or not. So as per the regulation, MERC, Maharashtra Renewable Energy Electricity Regulatory Commission. Okay, as per the MERC regulation, for the open access model, minimum sanction load should be 1 megawatt. Then only it can be transmitted through the. There is lot of technicality involved. So that is not a kind of, I will not say that government is pushing some regulation unnecessarily. There is a technical reason behind it. So for the open access, minimum 1 megawatt power capacity should be there. But on site, we can install in 750 kilowatt, we can install the plant within the premises, on their roof or on their ground.
I'll take one more question. On-grid project, I think Priyanka can answer this. For on-grid project, which paper is submitted to government department? Please explain the process. It may help attendees. On-grid project, what papers are to be submitted? Major Priyanka, if you can.
Yes. So basically, we need to, for an on-grid system, we need to apply to the DISCOM, whichever it is. It can be MSEB, Tata, or Reliance. And there are set of documents which are required, which start from the SLD of the design of the system, as well as the various components that they use, and a net metering application. We have to apply for the net meter. So these complete set of documentation is of course done by the EPC end to end. So that is not a problem. But there are two stages. One is the net metering application and the permission to the from the DISCOM, and the second stage is once you get the permission, you complete the plan. Then just before the commissioning, you have to again apply. They come and inspect the whole system whether it is as per their standards or not, and then only they come and install the net meter. Your normal meter will be replaced by a net meter.
We are already half. We're supposed to close it at 6:30, so I will have to close it now. Friends, thank you everybody for joining us, our panelists, our participants. The roof is lying idle. There are environment benefits. There are the cost reduction that has to be done. And for all these things, solar is a very, very good answer. Again, you can go solar without investing anything. And it is, Amit was saying, has to be a win-win situation. So yes, solar is a win-win situation for the client who wants to put on a solar power plant. They are investors. The company, in fact, industries can become investors. they will also benefit. They will also get returns on that. Of course, EPC company, they'll get work to do, and as I said, it is a win-win for everybody. The climate is benefiting, the customer is benefiting. We are still a country where power cuts are happening. There is shortage of electrical supply. There also, solar is a very, very good option. So please think about it. Give us your feedback. The feedback link is there in the chat box. We will be also sharing it. We would love to have your positive as well as negative feedback. So do share it with us. Thank you once again, Mr. Om Prakash, Mr. Raghunandan, Amit, Major Priyanka, all the participants for giving your time here. Thank you. Thank you and stay safe.
Yeah, thank you.
I think we can close it now.